In December of 1900, on a remote island off the coast of Scotland, 3 lighthouse keepers vanished without a trace. The lighthouse was found empty, locked, and silent. The Flannan Isles lie 20 miles out in the wild North Atlantic, uninhabited, wind-battered, and for centuries feared by the fishermen who sailed past them. Local sailors called them cursed. They would take off their caps and pray as they passed, never daring to land after dark. In 1899, a lighthouse was finally built on the largest island, Eilean Mor, to guide ships through the treacherous waters. 3 keepers manned it in rotation: James Ducat, the principal, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur, a hard, experienced man. On the 15th of December, a passing steamer noticed something wrong. The lighthouse was dark. Its light, which should never fail, had gone out. But the ship had no working radio. The warning would not reach the mainland for days. The relief vessel, the Hesperus, was meant to bring supplies and a fresh keeper, but fierce storms delayed her for over a week. When the Hesperus finally reached Eilean Mor on the 26th of December, the crew knew at once that something was terribly wrong. No flag flew on the mast. No keeper stood waiting on the landing. Their whistle and their flare went unanswered. A sailor was rowed ashore. He climbed the steep steps to the lighthouse and found the entrance gate shut and the heavy door closed. Inside, the lighthouse was empty. The beds were unmade. The clock had stopped. The ashes in the hearth were long since cold. The keeper's logbook lay open, and in the kitchen, according to legend, a meal sat unfinished and a single chair lay overturned on the floor. 2 of the 3 sets of oilskin coats were gone, but one still hung on its hook, meaning one keeper had walked out into a raging winter storm without his coat. Everything pointed to a sudden, violent departure, but there was no sign of the 3 men anywhere. They had simply vanished. The legend that grew tells of the final log entries, of a storm so terrible the keepers were afraid, of the hardened MacArthur found weeping. The last entry, it is said, simply read, "God is over all," and then nothing more. But historians have since shown that these chilling entries were largely invention, a legend born long after the men were gone. The real logs were ordinary notes on the weather. The last was dated the 15th of December, recording only that a great storm had finally begun to ease. The true horror was found outside, down at the West Landing, where the sea meets the rock. The devastation there was staggering. Heavy iron railings had been twisted and bent. Ropes were flung everywhere. A heavy wooden supply box, kept in a crevice over 100 feet above the waterline, had been torn away and smashed to pieces. A lifebuoy lashed to the railings, over 30 meters above the sea, had been ripped clean from its ropes by the water. Whatever reached that high and struck with that force had come from the ocean itself. The theories came quickly. A sea monster, foreign spies, a murder, one keeper killing the others, then hurling himself into the sea. Some whispered of the old curse, that the islands had finally taken back what men had dared to build upon them. But the official investigation reached a colder and far more likely conclusion. The superintendent believed a monstrous wave had swept the men away. During the storm, 2 keepers had gone down to the West Landing to secure the equipment. The third, seeing a towering wall of water racing toward the island, ran out to warn them, grabbing no coat in his panic. And then the wave struck, a wall of freezing Atlantic water, taller than the landing itself, swept all 3 men into the sea in a single instant. It fit everything: the wrecked landing, the missing coats, the open door, the 3 men gone in a heartbeat. But the sea gave nothing back. No bodies were ever found, and so the mystery of the Flannan Isles endures. The light was relit. New keepers came and served for 70 more years until the lighthouse was automated in 1971. But on wild nights, when the Atlantic hurls itself against the rocks of Isle on Moor, the islands keep their secret. And they keep it still,